Okay, so come to a comfortable seat. So for today's class, we are going to do another springtime practice because we have now reached the peak of spring. So today is May the 1st, and on the 1st of May, traditionally in pagan traditions, we would celebrate the festival of Beltane. So Beltane is the fire festival, and it's now known as May Day. And for this festival, people would celebrate the fact that there's now an abundance of greenery, new growth. It's symbolic of fertility and sexuality as well. And it's just about birthing something new. So it could be that it's to do with fertility, but it could also be the birthing of a new idea, a new project, something creative. And that ties in quite well with what we've been doing in springtime anyway, in terms of setting our intention. So we'll set an intention shortly, but for this practice today we're going to add in a little bit of fire. So fire, we don't fully come into the fire element until the 21st of June, which seems like a little way away, but we should start to see the air and the ground becoming a bit warmer because of the big ball of fire in the sky. So we're going to add in a little bit of fire to the practice today. Okay, nothing to be intimidated about. Fire is wonderful, fire is transformational, so it's all good. So we'll start with our intention setting now. So just get into your comfortable seat, make sure that the spine is nice and long, the neck is straight and shoulders relaxed, head above heart. So settle into your seat. Feel any unnecessary tension just melt away from the body. Just let it go. You can take a couple of breaths out through the mouth. Might assist that process in the releasing of any unwanted energy or tension. Any unwanted agitation or anger which can tend to bubble up at this time of year. Let it go. And just begin to witness the gentle rhythm of your breath. So you're not adjusting the breath right now, just let it settle and just be aware of the flow. The flow of the air moving into the body and moving out from the body. Yoga practice is designed to help you to really see things clearly, to see who you truly are beneath all of the kind of exterior parts of yourself, like the physical body. Also, like the emotions and our thoughts, we can get wrapped up in them and believe that that's who we truly are. But in yoga, it tells us that we are something more, something much greater, something that is untainted. And this something can be likened to a light within the heart that connects us to everything, to all beings, to everything in this world and beyond. And yoga is just the practice of getting there, of getting to that stage where you are aware that you're more than your body, your emotions and your thoughts. So it's always just a process, and it's important that you approach this process with bit of humour, lightness, and kindness, compassion, friendliness. So bear that in mind as you set your intention for the practice today. The hands together at the heart. Now you can imagine that there is a flame right in the centre of the chest. And each time you breathe, the flame burns a little more brightly. Each time you connect to the breath, it burns more brightly. Each time you're aware of the breath rather than your thoughts or sensations, or senses, sounds. Each time you become aware of this breath, the flame burns more brightly and you become more centered in who you truly are. Okay, so just bring the hands down. We're going to do a practice called Kapalabhati, which is a pranayama breathing exercise. And this really does help to stoke the fire within the body. More specifically, it burns around about the area of Manipura chakra, which is the chakra below Anahata, the heart centre. And this is situated just at the navel. And governs the whole of the solar plexus, so I don't know if you can see me that well with the white t-shirt on, but it's just above the navel and below the heart. And you can go ahead and place the hand over the solar plexus, okay? You can place the right hand, left hand, whatever is comfortable. Now for this breathing technique, it's important before we begin, if you have any condition that might cause you to be anxious, when you retain the breath or when you breathe rapidly, then this technique might not be for you. If you have an ulcer, or actually if you have anything untoward, any inflammation, anything going on in the abdomen that you think may not kind of agree with this type of breathing technique, then you can just simply breathe the full yoga breath. There's no contraindications whatsoever, so you breathe into the belly, the ribs, and the top of the chest, exhale from the top of the chest, from the centre of the torso, and then from the belly. Okay, so you can just do that 3-part breathing instead. Okay, but if you're joining me in Kapalabhati, Kapalabhati is translated as skull shining breath, but it's also known as the fire breath too. And it really does start to build heat in the body. And this heat in yoga is called Agni. And whenever I say that, I always think of agony, but it's not. I can assure you, it feels great. So just focus on this fire. This is more like digestive fire now, that it's starting to build, and it creates this sense of transforming something, and it allows energy to rise, and it allows the flame in the heart to burn more brightly. Okay, so we'll practice it all together. So I'll just demonstrate it before you join in with me, unless of course you know this technique very well. So you're beginning with a nice relaxed and soft abdomen, okay, and just let the diaphragm just drop down. You don't want to be tensing up at all, just relax, okay, soften the belly. And this technique is all about a forceful exhale, and it's through the nose. So actually you may want to have a tissue nearby. For this, it's really good that you're at home. You can really kind of let the breath out, and you can do it quite vigorously if you want. You can do it as rapidly as you want as well. And the inhalation is just very natural. It'll happen spontaneously as long as you stay pretty relaxed in between the forceful exhale, okay? If you're exhaling, and you continue to draw the belly in, you're going to run out of air pretty quickly, and you'll kind of maybe get a bit dizzy. Don't worry about that. If that happens, relax and just again go back to the full yoga breath, okay? But I'll just demonstrate it just now. If you want to listen in, my breath makes this noise when I do it. And you probably saw there as well in my belly, it moves sharply in and then it relaxes back out. And it's, again, it's just a spontaneous inhale. You don't really need to think about the inhale, you just need to think about these short and quite sharp exhales. Okay, so we'll do that for about 15 rounds or so. And again, please do it at your own pace. You can go like this, or you can go more rapidly. Okay, so let's all do it together. Okay, now just relax the belly and take a deep breath in to the belly, into the ribs, up into the shoulders. Hold at the top of the inhale, just as long as you can comfortably. And when you're ready to breathe out through the mouth, but hold it a little longer if you can. Okay, now everybody exhale. And just notice how you feel. Okay, we'll do it again. This time really focus on energizing the abdomen, really giving it a good squeeze when you exhale. Okay, utilizing the muscles and the strength that you have there. Okay, deep breath in, into the belly, into the ribs, into the shoulders. Hold if you can. You can keep your hand over Manipura chakra area, feeling the heat build there. Just maintaining this lift in the heart as well. And when you're ready, exhale very slowly through the mouth. Okay, we'll do it one more time. A little longer, maybe up to 20, maybe 25 if you're doing it rapidly. Deep breath into the belly, into the ribs, into the shoulders. Make sure you're letting your belly come way out as far as it can comfortably. Let it stretch, let the heart lift. You're holding as long as you can comfortably, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And whenever you need to, you're exhaling slowly, like as though you're breathing through a straw. All the way out. Okay. Good. So just focus on how the abdomen feels now. Focus on, maybe you're feeling a bit of heat, so feel that heat starting to radiate, starting to illuminate the whole body. Okay, and from here, with that lovely luminosity, we're going to come to standing. Okay, just take care if you feel a little tired there. Not tired. I'm saying that because I've been up since about 5 this morning. If you are feeling a little bit dizzy, just really take it easy. Okay, make sure your breathing goes back to a normal rhythm. You can start to breathe Ujjayi breathing now, breathing in and out through the nose. And I should say, actually just pointing out, I'm wearing green leggings and a red top and white t-shirt. I'm not wearing the colours of the Italian flag here, well I am, but these are the colours of Beltane. Okay, so there you go, a wee bit of pagan knowledge for you, bit of witchcraft. So we're going to come into goddess pose. Okay, so in this festival, it's all about the goddess and the green man coming together like yin and yang. Okay, so coming into goddess squat, I'm going to sit down into the pose. So in this pose, as you'll know, we're stimulating the gallbladder meridian line the liver meridian line really significantly in the inner thigh area. Okay, and from here we're going to lean forwards and we'll just do a little goddess twist. So slowly lower one shoulder into the center. Good, and then inhale, bring it back. Exhale to the other side. Okay, and you're just moving really slowly. Nice, luxurious twist. Okay, moving with a great deal of awareness, Now that awareness may be amped up quite considerably anyway after Kapalabhati pranayama, this skull shining breath. And when you move today, it's always really good to check in with what's happening deep in the centre of the belly anyway, especially in your transition. So try and keep some awareness there as we flow through the practice today. Okay, that's great. And very slowly we'll come up to rise, straightening the legs. You can heel toe the feet in towards each other. Okay, take a deep breath in and stretch the arms really wide, opening up, 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 taking hold of the right wrist. Okay, so my right wrist is cut off, but just bend the knees, drop the hips, inhale, lengthen up through the right side, and exhale, take a side bend. So now we're stimulating the gallbladder meridian line along the side body. Inhale, bring it back to centre. And it's worth noting that at the same time as stimulating the energy of the gallbladder, we're really opening up the intercostal muscles and all of the fabric of connective tissue and fascia that wraps around the ribs, that wraps around that whole area, that wraps around the intercostals, and it helps to really facilitate the breath. Okay, it will help you to breathe in a much freer way. Okay, without inhibitions, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to release any blockages. Inhale back to centre. Now straighten the legs, exhale, we'll dive forwards and down. Nice forward fold. So you can bend the knees as deeply as you like here. At this point, if you have a block and you're struggling with hamstrings or anything like that, you might want to use a block underneath the hands. But just let the head drop if you can, and release the head and neck, and you can give the torso a wee sway side to side. Okay, you stay where you are. Just gonna fix the hair. Okay, and then from here, take a deep breath in, float the heart up, and take the right hand down onto your block, or just perch the fingertips on the floor. Okay, as though the hand was at the top of a triangle, and the base, or the 2 points at the base of the feet. Take the left hand to the lower back, and you can soften the knees here. Now inhale, lengthen the spine a lot. Think about lengthening the waist as well. And then exhale, take a twist. So you're turning up towards the left side, so opening up through that left shoulder. Bend your right knee and straighten the left leg. If it feels okay for you, you can open up. And when you're in this twist, if it feels good for you, you can extend the arm up and over. And think about puffing up the left ribs. Okay, and then circle the hand down. Inhale, lifting the heart up. You can take the hand to the lower back and just feel a sense of grounding and steadiness through the sacrum, down through the tailbone, down through the legs and feet. Lengthen through the spine and start to turn, opening up the shoulder. So bend your left knee really deeply as you press your right foot into the ground. If it feels okay, extend upwards. A lovely big yawn, just feeling that lovely wingspan in the arms. And puff up through the right ribs as you circle the arm forwards towards the front end of your mat, feeling the stretch in the side body, and then circle it down. Nice. Take an inhale again, float the heart up, both hands on the floor, pull the shoulders back. Then exhale, stepping back. If you have a jump in you today, go ahead. It's the height of spring. So come into plank pose. Bring the knees to the floor if it's a challenge for you to hold this. But otherwise you're staying strong, lifting the front of the body away from the floor. Hold it for a few breaths. You can rock a wee bit back and forth. Don't be too static in your pose. Feeling the fire in the belly. Good. And then from here we can lower, maybe through chaturanga. We'll bring the knees to the floor as well. Or instead. And lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Send your hands forwards Anchor the heels of the hands and wrists into the floor. Take an inhale into Sphinx pose. Now think about dragging the elbows back, the forearms back towards the hips as the heart pulls forwards and up. Good, and then exhale, just melt the heart down to the floor. Inhale, come on up onto the hands and knees. Exhale, big toes together, knees wide. Hinge the hips back for a child's pose. Feeling the stretch through the arms across the shoulder blades. Widen the shoulder blades, so feel them wrap around the ribs. Inhale, lift. Walking the hands across to the left. Really extend away through the right fingertips and send the right hip back. Breathing into the right rib cage. And then inhale, take it all the way across to the right. Arms across to the right, extend away through the left fingertips as you let the head drop. So breathing fully. And each time you breathe and you're aware that you're breathing, again you might notice that flame in the heart, just burning more brightly. Inhale, bring it all back to centre now and send yourself forwards and up. We'll do 3 rounds of cat-cow pose. So inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, tuck under. We'll do 1 more. Your tuck under, really draw your belly in. Strengthen through the abdominals. And then inhale, come to a neutral position. And from here we're going to take gate pose variation. So extend your right leg off to the right. Okay, and flatten that foot down. Okay, and from here we'll take an inhale and scoop the centre of the chest up. Lift your tailbone up too. Okay, so coming into cow pose, gate pose hybrid. And then draw the navel in, tucking the tail towards the forehead, forehead to tail. Inhale, lift. Exhale to right. Good. So just feeling this continuous flow. Traditionally there would be a lot of dancing happening at this time of year. So you can imagine the practice today like a dance to celebrate the element of fire, also the height of spring, the birth of something new. And then see if you can walk the hands up. We'll do a little sway side to side, so lift the left arm up and then extend over your right leg. Inhale, and then exhale, drop the left hand down to the left side and reach your right arm up and over. Now if you have any back issues, I'd like you to take this variation where you circle down. Everyone can do this one, I'll show you the other version. Okay, coming all the way across. It might be okay just to lift up and then take it round. Okay, so you're circling around like that. Okay, if it's all right for you to not do the low road and to take the high road, you can go ahead. But be very mindful of what's going on in your lower back. You want to maintain a steadiness and stability around about the hips. So go ahead and you flow. You sway side to side. So this is how it looks from the front. Okay, you can slow it down even further. If you can really extend and expand your breath, looking lovely. If you can extend and expand your breath, then just the movement itself is going to be a lot slower, more mindful. You can really get into the awareness of where you're feeling the sense of stretching and opening, creating more space for this flame that lives in the heart cave. Okay, So to exit this pose, we're coming over to the left, so extend the right arm up and over, and then everybody take the low road. So circling round, come back into pose where you're lengthening, so our hands underneath the shoulders, scoop the tailbone up, and then round a little, and slowly slide that right leg in. Okay, so we'll do the other side. So lengthen the left leg, the foot is flat on the floor. Just arrange yourself. I need to scoot myself over a wee bit because it's fairly cramped at this bit. So take an inhale, scooch the heart forward, scooch. That's a technical instruction for you there for all you yoga teacher trainees. you can have that one. Scooch. And then tuck the tailbone under, let the head drop. Okay, so you're just flowing very gently. Articulating the spine, feeling that lovely wave-like motion throughout your central channel. Anchoring through the points of your body that meet the floor. So feeling really steady there. And as always, in your yoga postures, you want to maintain an awareness within your foundation. And from this steadiness, that's where you can create a nice safe flow. Okay, and then just slowly start to walk the hands in, rising up into gate pose. And reach your right arm up and over to the left. So a lovely stretch for the right side. Inhale, open the arms wide, shoulder height, and exhale, take it down. Up and over. Inhale back to center. Okay, remember you're taking the low road if you require. Okay, the low road, you just circle down. It's a little bit kinder if you have any instability around about the sacrum. Okay, so just keep going, keep flowing, listening to the breath. Another good way to create stability is to just keep your awareness around about the abdomen. Obviously in a vinyasa class in general you would be maintaining an awareness in Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha anyway. So that's a slight subtle engagement of the pelvic floor in towards the centre for Mula Bandha and a light engagement through the lower abdomen for Uddiyana Bandha. Okay, so the next time you're over to the right, circle the left hand down and walk hand over hand till you come to again another cow pose. And then very slowly tuck the tailbone under and bend the knee as you slide that foot back in. Okay, lovely. And from here we'll take downward facing dog. Okay, transitioning slowly, spreading your fingers wide, rooting down through the fingertips. You can take your feet nice and wide for this first one. And just send your heels over to the right and then send them over to the left. Now as you do this, as you press your heels down, push your hips up and back. Okay, and switch sides. You can walk your feet in a little for your downward dog twist. So make sure that you're strong in your center. Feel that fire in the belly again, connect to that. And root down through your right hand. You might want to bend your knees to start with and lift your left hand off the floor and take hold behind the calf muscle. Then see if you can straighten your legs. Okay, don't worry if you can't, but if you can, go for it. And melt the heart down and start to turn the heart up towards the ceiling. Good. And then bring it back to center. Slowly does it. And take that other side. Okay, I'm just going to let my cat out. You can stay there a second. There you go. Okay, and come back to centre. You think I was going to leave you there for ages? Okay, so downward facing dog. From here we'll take an inhale and lift the right leg up and back. Spreading the toes, so active right foot. And then draw the belly in, bend the knee very deeply, send your foot forwards. Keep your back heel lifted, so off the ground. Push into the right foot, strong in your foundation. Take an inhale, rise up into a high lunge. Okay, take an inhale, reaching the arms upwards. Good, all the way up. And then lengthen through the left wrist and send yourself over to the right, so stretching through the left side. You really need to draw the hips in towards your midline here to maintain a sense of steadiness, groundedness, while you create space. And then inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, lower the body and send your left hand down into the floor. Okay, we're going to take a twist. So bend into that right knee, lengthen through the spine and start to spin the heart up towards the ceiling. If it feels okay, you're lengthening upwards. Good. And then bring the left thigh away from the floor, hips slightly away from the floor, and reach your right arm up and over. So arc up through the right ribs. Good. And then exhale, taking the hand down. We'll walk hand over hand till you come to the long side of your mat. I'm going to spin around for obvious reasons. Okay, so coming into a wide leg forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. And from here, take the hands forwards. Take an inhale, scoop the tailbone up, lift the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Good. And from here, you can take the left hand forwards. You can bend the knees and maybe draw the feet slightly in towards each other, and we'll take another twist. So send your right hand, I'm not mirroring you, I'll mirror you now. So take the right hand towards the outer calf muscle. And again, start to spin the chest up. So when you do that, you'll start to feel a little bit of activation through the liver meridian line on the right side. Good. Inhale, bring it back to center. Other side. Good. Inhale, back to center. Bring your heels in, and from here, sink the hips down and back. Okay, draw the belly in. Okay, and then take the hands up. We're going to come up to rise into goddess again. Okay. So just settle the hips downwards in goddess, draw the belly in, and then take the hands up to the center of the chest. Align the shoulders over hips if you can. Breathing here. And then send the arms out to the sides. You can take Chin Mudra if you like. Good. And then inhale, reaching up. Take hold of the right wrist. Exhale, side bend. Stay steady and still through the lower half of the body. Inhale back to center, lengthen up. Exhale over to the side. Remember that fire? You're going to call upon it now. Inhale back to center. Good, and then bring the hands back out. Keep the heart lifted. Good, and then take the hands onto the thighs. Ooh, a bit of relief there. Side to side. Good, sink your hips down more. Send the hands to the floor. Turning the toes in, back into wide leg forward fold. You can let the head go now. If you can take the head to the floor, go ahead, stimulating the top of the gallbladder line. Good, inhale back to center, and then walk hand over hand till you come to the front end of your mat. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Good. Okay, take an inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Take your time, spread the toes, and then bend your knees, stepping your foot forwards. Keep your back heel lifted, strong through that left foot. Now if your balance is a wee bit off, you want to just have a little bit of a gap, a distance between the width of the feet, okay? Or the width between the feet. So take a deep breath in, come on up to rise into your high lunge. Good. And take a deep breath in as you reach the arms up. Take hold of the right wrist now and lean over to the left. Stretching through the right side. Steadiness through the feet. Imagine there are roots growing down, down, down to the earth. When you feel secure like that, feel the rebound in the heart. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, circle the arms wide and hand down, right hand down to the floor. To come into a twist. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, really draw the navel in as you turn. Maybe reaching the left arm upwards, lean your body back, upper body back. Good, and really lift your right thigh away from the floor. So anchor it up, not anchor, keep it buoyant, okay? And then send your left arm up and over and really puff up through the left rib cage. Good, and circle the hand down. We'll walk slowly, hand over hand. Oh, back into Prasarita. Padottanasana, hands this time to the ankles. Okay, inner and outer ankles, so stimulating acupressure points for both the liver and gallbladder here. And bow the head down, take the elbows wide. Inhale, scoop the heart up. Turn the left toes out, bend into the left knee, turn the right toes in. Good, and then we'll do that to the other side. Nice. So side to side. Just a few times, just let the head dangle. Okay, come back to center. Turn the heels in. Take the hands onto the thigh. And inhale, lifting the heart up. Taking your little goddess twist. Or it might be a big twist now. Sinking your hips down if you can. Just a couple more times like this. Back to center, inhale, lifting the torso up, reaching the arms out nice and wide, feeling fire in the belly. Stay connected. So this is one of these poses where we feel it all in the lower half of the body. Try and bring some effort up into the belly, take some of the load off. Not up into the shoulders, just into the belly. Okay, inhale, reaching up. Leaning over to the left for a side bend. Inhale back to center. Oh, keep smiling. Over to the other side. Inhale back to center. Okay, leaning forwards. Little twist. Sink the hips down, turn the toes in, hands to the floor. And again, you can take a forward fold. If it feels good for you to take the hands behind you now, just a nice counter. We've not done much in the way of shoulders, so opening the shoulders a little. And then take the hands down, walk hand over hand till you come back into downward facing dog. Nice. Okay, and just send the hips side to side. From here, we're going to step or hop the feet forwards to the front, lifting the heart up. Exhale, bow the head down. Inhale, lift up halfway. We'll take another twist. So Bending the right knee, lengthening the left leg, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, open up. See if you can lean your body back. And then exhale, take it down. Now open. And then take it down. Lovely. Bend your knees to come up to rise. Inhale all the way up, all the way up. Taking hold of the left wrist, lengthen. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend. And inhale, back to center. All the way back to center. Bring the hands to the heart. Good. So at this stage, you might want to use a strap, okay, or a scarf for a standing balance. Okay, so we'll do the one that we've been working on this week for those of you who've been here Wednesday and Tuesday. If you haven't been here, we're coming into standing leg raises. You can do this just with the knee bent. If you can catch the toe, or if you like, you can use the strap, okay? Root down strongly through the standing foot. Okay, go ahead and come into the pose that feels good for you, variation that's good. Inhale here and exhale, guide the leg slowly over to the side, just to the point where you start to feel this in the inner thigh a little. Keep your right hip low, keep your heart high, shoulders relaxed, keep smiling. Focus is super important here, so keep your drishti fixed, your focus point fixed, but eyes soft. Keep breathing and inhale, bring it back to center. From here you can swap the strap over or swap the bind, maybe the left hand to the knee, okay? Try and still keep your balance. Keep your heart lifted. Inhale, lengthen the spine even more. And then exhale, guide yourself so that you're turning the body to the long side of your mat. You can take your gaze there too. If it feels okay for you, you're lengthening that arm out to the side and maybe looking over towards the hand. Oh, that is tricky. Okay, keep your right hip dropping and inhale, bring it back to center, lowering the foot down. So on Wednesday we did tree pose in addition, but I took that a bit too slow there to do that. Okay, so we'll do the other side. So again, you can have the knee bending, the legs straight. You can catch the big toe if you like, if you're taking a bind. So taking the leg up to wherever is comfortable for you. Okay, making sure that you're really looking after your lower back here. You do that by firing up the core, connecting to the abdominal wall, still connecting to the breath too, and then guide your leg over to the left. Just to the point where you feel like, okay, that's enough. Challenging yourself, but not going too far. Maybe taking the right arm as a counterbalance out to the side. Maybe taking the gaze over the right shoulder. Good. Inhale, bring it all back to center. Then swap your hand over, so swapping the bind. If you're taking the foot, it's the outer edge of the foot now. Okay, and taking the hand to the lower back and extending the arm out, maybe the gaze. Keep the breath flowing. Back up if it's too much. And then inhale back to center. And slowly lower the foot, not like what I just did there. Okay, so coming back to Samastitihi, equal standing pose. You can shake it out a little bit. Okay, bring the hands together. Notice the rhythm of your breath, feel your heart beating. Really tap into that pulse. You can imagine that light, that flame in the heart, the fire in the belly. Good, so take an inhale, reach the arms up. Take the feet quite wide, wider than hip width, turn the heels in. We're going to come into Malasana, squat. Okay, so slowly, slowly lower down. And see if you can take the elbows to the inside of the knees. We're just going to come into this pose just for a moment or two, just to feel the earth beneath the feet. So press into the heels, press into the tips of the toes, into the balls of the feet too, and feel the tailbone lengthen down and the sacrum starting to spread and open. Just feel that spreading all across the lower back. Draw the lower belly in and feel the heart lift. Good. So this is a very grounding pose. Connects you quite strongly to the earth's energy. Okay, now draw in and up with Mula Bandha. Draw in and up with Uddiyana Bandha in the lower belly. And slowly extend the arms out. Sit back onto the sit bones and bring the knees together. Okay, arms come parallel to the floor. See if you can keep the feet off the floor for Navasana, boat pose. Lift up and out of your lower back. Now you can hold it here and breathe nice and deeply. You can lengthen the legs if you are able to do that with comfort. And you can also add your Kapalabhati breathing. Okay, well done. From here we're going to cross the legs, let the knees drop off to the sides, press into the floor with the fingertips and take an inhale and lift the heart up. Good, send the tailbone behind you. And again, notice the heart beating and feel the fire burning in the belly. And from here we'll take a forward fold. So hands can come forwards. You can slowly let the head drop down. Inhale, lifting up, crossing over. Bowing the head down. Good. Inhale, lifting up. Take Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, and that's where you bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Inhale, lift the heart up. You can stay high with the heart lifted, or if you have comfortable, and I mean it this time, comfortable forward fold, then go ahead. Soften into the pose, don't be harsh with yourself, don't yank or pull. There's a slight kind of pushing and pulling in this pose, but again, you should feel a degree of comfort and safety in the lower back, groundedness through the sit bones. And then inhale, bring it back to center, bring the knees in. Okay, from here we'll cross the legs and come forward, step back into down dog. Nice, and then lower down onto the knees. And sit back on the heels, coming into hero pose. So press all 10 toes into the floor. From here we're going to come into a back bend. Now we've not done too many up dogs or cobras at all today to prepare, so you can really go easy on yourself. We tend to get quite deeply into back bending and heart opening in the summer months, in the summer season. But because we are focusing on the fire element in traditional Chinese medicine, then that's the organ of the heart that you're really working on quite significantly. So we're going to do Ustrasana, camel posture, but I'd like you to take the lighter version of it if you can. Obviously, if you're able and you feel really open anyway, you can come into your full expression of the pose. So take an inhale and lift the hips up off the heels. Take the toes and tuck them under. Okay, now in this pose, when you're in it, rather than focusing on where the hands are going, focus on what's happening in the front of the body. Okay, so the hips are pressing forwards. Okay, the front of the hip points are pointing forwards as though there was a wall in front of you. So you can imagine connecting the thighs to this wall, but then sometimes the hips might kind of pull back and the chest pulls back in a bid to get the hands to the feet. So we're not after that here today. What we're after is a sense of pressing the hips forwards and the heart pulls up, okay, but the belly's still pressing against this wall, okay, this imaginary wall. Lengthening the tailbone way down. If it helps, you're taking the hands to the lower back. That tends to help an awful lot in terms of opening up the front of the body while keeping the lower back safe. So you can squeeze the elbows in towards each other, pulling the shoulder heads back. You don't even need to take the head back in this pose, so just breathe for a moment here. Good, and coming out of the pose is more important than actually going into it. So think about pressing the hips forwards even more. Pull up with the heart, and then it's the chin, and then it's the forehead. Okay, so next phase of the pose is to again check in with those points in the front of the body, the front surface all the way up to the belly. The heart pulls up towards the sky, shoulders pull back, and maybe you can take one hand to one ankle. And if you can do that fairly comfortably, go ahead and reach up with the other arm. Maybe even up and back. And breathe deep. Breathe into the space between the ribs, the side waist as well. And again, remembering how to pull up. So you pull up from the hips, the belly, chest, chin, and forehead. Okay, so we can change to the other side. So you're anchoring down through the left arm, pushing forwards with the hips, lifting up with the heart, and then inhale, bring it back. Now if this is too intense in your lower back, sit down, okay, as you take the hand down, and then press up from here, and then just sit back down again. Swap over and press back up. Okay, so this should be quite accessible for you, so you can go ahead and get into that flow, or you can take it back. Maybe both hands come back like this. If it feels all right for you, you can take the hands to the soles of the feet, or maybe even the ankles. And again, remember, just come on up, hips, belly, heart, chin, forehead. Okay, and then sit back down. So let everything settle. From here, we can take a counter pose. You can come into child's pose with the hands by the feet and the forehead meets a block or the floor. Just let the shoulders drape. If you have a headstand practice, this pose here might not be too much of a transition for you, so you can go ahead and come into that. Okay, or we can start to prepare for a restorative pose that will then prepare you for your Shavasana. Okay, so it's about 25 past now. We're going to spend about 3 minutes in this reclined bound angle pose. Now I'm just going to show you this with a bolster, and you can use a block. In fact, I'll show you with 2 blocks, because if you have them, it's quite effective. So it's a mix between fish pose and bound angle. So you're setting your blocks up, one in the high position, one in the lower position. The one in the lower position is going to run underneath the shoulder blades, more or less, and that's going to be behind the head. Okay, so just allow yourself to settle in. Take your time to get there. Now if you don't have blocks, you're just using cushions, a rolled up blanket or a bolster. I like to use a bolster underneath the back, and I keep a block for the head. Okay, and I can just kind of play with the positioning, the height of the block as I sink into the pose. So I always start with the the block or a cushion in the highest position, and the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. It feels really, really nice. It really opens up the channels of the liver. Again, great for the spring season. And here you can actually visualize the whole liver channel running up to the 9th rib. Okay, and that's just above the floating ribs, about a third of the way up your rib cage. And then interlace the fingers. Here you might want to take the head back a wee bit more. And just let the elbows move out to the side so the upper body mirrors the lower body. And just feel the spine drape across the support. I mean, you could even just use a rolled up towel for underneath the shoulder blades. You don't need to be too high off the floor with your support in order to feel something really powerful here. So this pose supports the back of the heart. It really promotes a heart opening, it gets progressively easier to do as the warmer days come in. But again, because of our current situation, our current climate, and I don't mean temperature wise, I just mean everything that's going on in the world right now, we can just build up our armour and close off. And it's poses like this that help us unravel from that and get back again to who we truly are, and get back again to this place where we feel untarnished, unchanged by the whirlwind that is life right now. So you can just play with the intensity of this pose. Right now for me this is pretty intense, so it starts to become quite a challenge and mind over matter, so using the breath is really important as you start to open. And you might feel, especially if you're using a prop that pushes the heart open quite a bit, like this one, that it's the connective tissue that kind of resists. Okay, because the connective tissue is the stuff that kind of holds all of our patternings that's being developed because of the way that we think, the way that we react, the way that we feel. And poses like this can it almost feels like you're breaking open. And that can be quite an uncomfortable process sometimes, but it's a worthwhile one. So you just need to breathe through it sometimes, but obviously know the difference between that and anything that's harmful, unhelpful. Okay, now if you can stay here for your Shavasana, if you're really comfortable right now in this pose, I would encourage you just to stay here. But if you're in quite a deep version of the pose, or you really want a Shavasana, then go ahead and support the head. Inhale to lift up, and then take the hands back down when the chin is tucked in. And then bring the knees in and come up. Gracefully done. And then make sure that you're nice and warm and come into Shavasana. So for anyone who needs to go at past, that's your bell, ding ding. But for those of you who want to hang out for another wee while longer, you can go ahead. Also, please bear in mind, at this point, if you are able to take a 10-15 minute Shavasana, 20 minute Shavasana, take the opportunity, and you can just mute me and go ahead and practice. Continue your practice. But if you want to finish the class with me, then go ahead and extend your legs out, extend your arms out, and rock your head side to side. And take a really nourishing deep breath in, and exhale, sigh it We'll do that 2 more times. And feel yourself settling down, deep, deep down. With each exhale. Settling the bones, the muscles, the connective tissue, the organs, the blood, down, down towards the earth. A sense of leveling out. Now notice the space that you've created. The space that you've created for your true self. Not for your thoughts, your worries, your anxiety, your depression, your frustration. Not for that. You've worked that out and released it using the tools of our yoga practice. Instead, you've created a softness, a pliability, mobility in the tissues, which creates a sense of freedom, like you've liberated yourself from the unnecessary tensions that you carry. You've revealed a softness, a luminosity, a vibrancy within you. And let yourself bathe in that for a few minutes now in Shavasana. Very gently begin to deepen your breath. Begin to create some movement in the body. Breathing in vibrancy, aliveness, and just waking up the body, starting with the wrists and the ankles, and then stretching yourself. Again, just making more space, and then close in, hug the knees into the chest, and maybe take a little twist, or just rock side to side. And take your time to come onto your side and then up to a comfortable seat. And bring the hands to the heart. And bow your head down. Taking a moment to listen in to how you feel, to your energetic level. Acknowledging any lessons that you've learned about yourself along the way. We'll finish all together with 3 Oms. So nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath in, reaching the arms up, look up, and bring the hands to the crown, to the third eye, to the heart, and to Manipura, this center of transformation, of fire. Keep that with you and enjoy your day. Namaste. Thank you all so much for your practice.